The City of St. Paul welcomes you to a virtual community commemoration of Juneteenth. I'm St. Paul Mayor Melvin Carter, and I'm excited to partner with the St. Paul Public Libraries and Ujamaa Place to welcome you to share a few minutes with us as we hear from local African American leaders on the question, why do you celebrate Juneteenth?
Today, we invite people of all nationalities to join hands with African Americans in the fight for freedom that is long overdue, and to celebrate the many contributions that African Americans make in improving society for all.
Hello, everyone. To Mayor Melvin Carter, the people of the great city of St. Paul, Minnesota, and to all of our fellow Americans watching this broadcast around the world. Tanya and I are honored to be here with you today. In the past few weeks, we have seen our state of Minnesota in a light like never before. The entire world has bared witness to the same hatred that threatens our great country once again. We've seen our mothers cry over fallen sons and daughters. We've seen our fathers shed tears over families being ripped apart by violence and hate. We've seen the people of St. Paul weep for its own dark battle with injustice, and the pain of sister cities has become unbearable. We've once again have heard the cries of people of color, both domestic and abroad, and yet somehow we still cling to the strength, the promise, and the hope and thriving spirit of Juneteenth.
I celebrate Juneteenth because my people, my culture, needs an Independence Day that actually honors real independence. Not just what we called independence on the 4th of July, but actual emancipation.
We can never forget how we got here. We talk about American exceptionalism and how we are one of the wealthiest countries in the world. Well, we got that way off the backs of Black and brown people and their slave labor. Can't tell the story of America or the United States without telling the story of the enslavement of African people.
Juneteenth is a celebration of June 19th, 1865, when military troops marched into Galveston, Texas, to let the Africans in captivity there know that they were free, that slavery had ended.
Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, and yet the message didn't get down to the slaves, 4 million slaves in the South, until September of 1865. And so it was a great disservice to our people. They were under slavery when they should have been freed.
This celebration has become a national celebration of independence in our African American community.
I am a Texan, born and raised in Texas, and I remember how surprised I was initially to see Juneteenth became an idea of celebration. When I think about Juneteenth and how long our people had continued in the tradition of slavery and abuse until it was finally acknowledged in 1865, I'm left with a bit of hurt and sadness and trying to understand how the news of emancipation could not be shared by all Black people. So it becomes a day for us, I believe, everywhere to think about the intent.
You know, for me, Juneteenth has been a day of reflection, because to me it was kind of like, work unfinished. I mean, there's some emancipation, but which is what Juneteenth is about, but I didn't really feel emancipated.
Right now, today, we have voter suppression, we have redistricting, and yet the Supreme Court has taken away some of the issues out of the voter rights bill that I actually marched those 54 miles with Dr. King from Selma to Montgomery for voting rights in 1965 as a freshman at the University of Minnesota. And so it's important to me from the point of making sure that we get everybody's right to vote, that there isn't any voter suppression, and that everybody feels that they have a voice in our government and how to make it better as a whole.
I think you can draw a straight line between slavery and what happened with Mr. Floyd. It's a culmination of all the things that have gone on since slavery. We are still suffering the hangover of slavery. I mean, there are people who still fly the Confederate flag, right? We were slaves for 246 years. We've been free for approximately 154. And so the effects of slavery are reflected in how we treat each other, how we treat ourselves, how we look at this country, and they're still around today.
Loving there every night and day, loving all our troubles away. We're gonna love like there's no tomorrow. Loving every minute and hour, loving past our own fire. We're gonna love like there's no tomorrow. We're gonna love like there's no tomorrow. We're gonna love like there's no love like there's no tomorrow. Oh, singing, baby, yeah.
Loving on down to the wire.
Yeah.
Love burning like a wildfire. We gon'
Love like there's no tomorrow. Oh,
love stopping like a flow bar.
yeah.
Love's giving me a little more. We gon'
Love like there's no tomorrow. Oh, love like there's no tomorrow. We're gonna love like there's no love like there's no tomorrow.
You know, growing up in the South, we didn't really celebrate Juneteenth. It was more of a Texas holiday, but over the years, as people migrated northward, that celebration came with it. So the first time I got to celebrate Juneteenth was actually in Minnesota, and it was easily to embrace because Juneteenth itself, when this proclamation came that freed slaves in Texas, it became a new birth, became the black man's 4th of July.
Love, love, love. We gon' love like there's no two. Love like there's no tomorrow. It was here that one of your own sons, who is known widely by the name of Prince, created his 19th album and entitled it Emancipation, to signal freedom from the chains of his own creative oppressors. Now we are still here, celebrating the freedom to exist, the freedom to love, the freedom to educate and to be educated, and the freedom to not let anyone turn our feet away from the paths of righteousness set before us.
It's reflection, but also action. To think that, there was 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation that black people in Texas were even told that they were free. And then they still were not free. And we have not been free. And I don't want to give credit to the knee on the neck, but you know what? It really does feel like that was it was a visual of still not being emancipated. We have to be emancipated from the systems and the policies, those needs that have been on our backs way past 1863. So for me, it's reflection and it's renewal of the spirit. And I hear my grandparents' voice, relatives that were slaves. I mean, I hear their voices coming through. I have to do what I have to do while I'm here to make sure that we are emancipated from all that was put in law to keep the knee on our back.
Juneteenth is a time for all of us to come together to celebrate the spirit of freedom. Knowledge and communication and community allows us all to recognize that as we free our minds, everything else follows. People in Texas who did not realize for some time that the law had made them free rejoiced in their spirits and then needed to follow with their bodies and with their hands. And today, as we recognize the ongoing injustices occurring in our world, all of us must apply our minds so that our spirits can address the issues around us and help to work to ensure peace, justice, and equity across all our lands.
With the killing of George Floyd, this moment, this Juneteenth matters now more than ever.
As we come with this identity, as we continue to put this assault on structural racism, we have something else that we can cling to say that I am someone in this country.
Juneteenth means freedom to me. Today in our society, African Americans have not yet realized freedom. So to me, it's also a time for reflection and rejoicing. It's a time for assessment, self-improvement, and for planning the future.
So that's our charge, I believe, for the whole nation on June 19th, 2020, to remember the struggle, intent, sacrifice, and deaths of Black people who thought Juneteenth, 1865, meant freedom. So I hope we enjoy it. Hope we enjoy and remember what our ancestors anticipated and what our roles are in acknowledging what they hoped we might be able to do.
We are one. 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 And the world is still so beautiful. Together we'll stand and not lose hope. 'Cause we are one. We are one. We are one.
Well, my story about Juneteenth does not keep me from wishing happiness. So happy Juneteenth, my people.
Happy Juneteenth 2020.
Happy Juneteenth 2020. Go for it.
Happy Juneteenth 2020!
Happy Juneteenth 2020, everybody.
Happy Juneteenth 2020.
Happy Juneteenth 2020!
Together, we'll bang. We are one. 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 Everyone, God bless you.